Good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining in today for the webinar on our statewide tour of manufacturing. We are excited to continue this webinar series designed to serve manufacturers and educators to promote careers in manufacturing. Our center is hosting these webinars to provide detailed overviews of our many resources and programs, how they can be used for each audience, as well as inform and connect people to other initiatives occurring throughout Minnesota and the broader region. Note that I will be playing a video within this presentation, which hopefully doesn't cause any Zoom issues, but if so, this webinar will be recorded for future reference. Now, Nick, our administrative specialist and expert in all things technology, will share a few webinar logistics.
Good afternoon, folks. I just wanted to speak briefly about our webinar format today before Jamie gets underway. Everyone joining us now has their audio muted and video feed disabled. This is intended. You will be able to unmute yourselves during the dedicated question and answer session towards the end of the presentation. However, if you have questions you'd like to submit during the presentation, please feel free to do so via the Q&A button along Zoom's control bar or via the general chat feature. Both the Q&A and general chat buttons can be found on Zoom's control bar along the bottom of your screens. Submitting questions via the Q&A module is a little like text messaging, and it typically opens in a separate window. Attendees can view other submitted questions and upvote them by clicking the little thumbs up button if they have the same question. If you would like to submit a question via general chat, but do not see the sidebar for it, click the chat button on Zoom's control bar to open it up. From there, select all panelists and attendees from the drop-down menu if you'd like to submit a question or comment to the group. We will be monitoring your questions and comments throughout, and we'll circle back at the end of the presentation to discuss and hopefully answer them. And with that, back to Jamie.
Thanks, Nick. My name is Jamie Meyer, and I am the presenter of this webinar. I serve as the Director of Marketing and Outreach for the Minnesota State Advanced Manufacturing Center of Excellence, hosted at Bemidji State University. Along with other center staff, I have helped develop and promote the resources that will be shared throughout the webinar series. Most specifically, I have served as the lead planner of the annual Statewide Tour of Manufacturing. You can see my contact information, and this webinar will be recorded again for future reference. So if you'd like to reference the content, and we will have time for questions as well. Just real quickly, for those not familiar, here's a quick overview of our Center of Excellence. We are one of 8 centers of excellence serving industry needs through education. There are 8 centers that were established by the Minnesota State College and Universities that serve the industries of agriculture, engineering, energy, health, IT, and transportation industries. So while we serve the entire state, our center is hosted by Bemidji State University. There are 24 technical and community colleges throughout Minnesota that offer certificate and degree programs, and we work to support their efforts. Our center's priorities align with Minnesota state system priorities, which are to engage industry, enhance education, and inspire students to pursue careers in manufacturing. And our mission is to recruit and educate the next generation of workers. We want to help recruit the next generation of workers. So our mission is everything about careers in manufacturing. So this webinar will provide you with an overview of the Statewide Tour of Manufacturing event that we lead each year. I will go over resources that we have developed for educators and industry to support their participation and involvement. I plan to share our stats and outcomes. I will also show examples of our promotional strategies. I will cover ways for educators and industry to get involved and participate. And again, there will be time for questions and answers. So the Statewide Tour of Manufacturing is our center's main event. It occurs annually in October each year. This event is aligned with the National Manufacturing Institute's annual Manufacturing Day event. That national event occurs the first Friday in October, nationwide, bringing attention to manufacturing. In Minnesota, however, our event is aligned with the first week of October so that we overlap the National Manufacturing Day and our Minnesota Governor's designated week to celebrate and honor manufacturing industry throughout Minnesota. Throughout our experience with the timing of this event and what we've learned planning year over year and the audiences involved, we have also found that schools need a bit more time to schedule a field trip in Minnesota than that first week in October. So the statewide tour is open the entire month of October. We share information and promote manufacturing the entire month of October. And we honor tours being registered throughout that entire month. And we also, you know, if schools can't do their field trip in October, we will honor registrations even after October, all the way till the end of the year. So there's a brief bit of history about our statewide tour of manufacturing. More history, the tour began in 2011 as a collaboration with partners, including the Department of Employment and Economic Development in Minnesota. Manufacturing industry representation is on the planning committee. Multiple regional manufacturing association partners that we work very closely with and sponsor this event. Chambers of Commerce directors, Perkins Consortium leaders, career counselors, or various champions in regions that plan an annual large manufacturing highlight, bringing attention to local employers and careers in manufacturing. So the objective of the statewide tour is to help educate the public, increasing awareness of modern manufacturing practices, and highlights the innovation that is prevalent in the industry. By attending a tour, people learn about manufacturing facilities throughout the state and the importance of manufacturing. So it's, you know, they're learning that it's seeing firsthand that it's high tech and innovative. And really the main objective is to improve perception, demonstrate positive career opportunities in manufacturing, and engage industry and influencers in the process. Now I'm going to play a short, here's an example of our statewide tour video showing what the tour is. Next, you know, if a manufacturer, really the next step, if a manufacturer would like to participate in bringing recognition to the industry and opening their doors, the first step is to register your tour on our site. So I'm just going to show you where to do that. You can register. This really is our website's designated area for the tour. So in our, you know, menu here, you can see the statewide tour of manufacturing. And then if you scroll down to host a tour, you then can be taken to all these different resources of which I'm going over in this presentation, but you can register your tour here. And then, you know, this is really the first step. So just wanted to share that. You know, when tours are registered, you'll find them on an interactive map on our website. Obviously right now during the given time, you know, there would be a lot more blue icons like this throughout Minnesota where tours are. So be looking for them. I'm hopeful that there'll be a lot of virtual tours that are registered and some other alternative tours registered throughout the state. But this is, there's an interactive map on our website that shows all the different locations so that you can click on them and learn more about that company and the tour information when the tour is after a tour registers. So we also have a way for K through 12 transportation funding opportunities. So schools can apply for free busing. We found that the success of the tour was in scheduled field trips. We have raised funding to support free field trips, and we have been driving educators and regional coordinators to our website to apply for funding. We have supported in the past close to about over $20,000 a year in bus funding. So our process is to review the funding request, and as a condition of funding, schools must register their tour on our site and tell us how they heard about the tour. They need to also obtain a quote from a busing company prior to applying. And then we will approve their request and essentially reimburse schools for the busing company's fees for transportation. So that's a little bit of how that process works. And then our next step is to send each school a letter that outlines how to enhance their tour experience, utilizing other resources that our center has developed, such as incorporating our teacher guide curriculum, our multi-layered manufacturing career tool resource. We have a digital badge pathway. Students earn a badge by just participating in a tour. It's called our Footloose badge, and showing other career videos to really enhance a student's tour experience. We include surveys for students as well to take after their experience that we've historically sent to a research company to compile the data. So the data has for many years supported that this event experience is truly working to change the perception of manufacturing for students and educators and inspiring them to pursue the manufacturing career path further. We also in the past have had funding to send safety glasses as a giveaway for students, depending on our budget, and some also, fun manufacturing related giveaways as well. So the Statewide Tour of Manufacturing, we have toolkits, guides, and templates. So here's a list of the many resources that we have identified over the years as a planning committee that were needed to have in place to support areas of the tour, folks that were planning them or hosting or attending to make the experience better. So we also have a manufacturing tour guide, a teacher tour guide to assist teachers in prepping their students for a tour experience. So, and we've developed other templates to assist really in the coordination and promotion, such as press release templates, PSA templates, radio ads, letters for parents even. Other educator resources are available to offer support and enhance their classroom's tour experience. So we've tried to think of every hiccup year over year and create a resource to address that. So our host toolkit and guide. So we've developed two resources to support manufacturers in hosting a tour. One is a toolkit and the other is a guide. So both resources are designed to be easy to follow. You can download the toolkit from our website. I showed you our statewide tour website and all the different things that you can download. So you would find those all there under host a tour. And the toolkit explains how a manufacturer can get started planning a tour. It serves as a comprehensive best practice, step-by-step guide to prepare for a tour, getting organized, promoting a tour, and also includes follow-up after the tour. So for example, we learned that manufacturers needed a step-by-step checklist or toolkit, just some reference point to assist them in hosting a tour. The tour guide helps manufacturers think about how to prepare for the tour and some options to consider the day of the tour, such as setting out signage, setting up a table with career information, how to handle an open house scenario. So we came together with experience and feedback to develop a host toolkit for manufacturers to access on our site. So community tour toolkit. Community tours are a group of manufacturers in a city or a region that come together to organize tours for the public. So this resource outlines who should be involved in a community. If someone's going to take this on, the steps to to take to organize a community group and then highlight some of those best practices for planning, implementation, and follow-up before and the day of the tour, as well as best practices for promoting the community tour, and some contacts to reach out to as well. So we've developed this resource from some best practices throughout the state of partners that have been coordinating and hosting community tours for years. This resource supports the community tours that happen, for example, chambers of commerce leaders, manufacturing associations, workforce development reps, or any community leader. In fact, industries coordinated community tours as well. We also, on this note, have supported community tour promotion as well. We've had funding to do that so that communities could put a big splash in a newspaper or on the radio or a social media campaign. We've had a funding application, a budget to support those community tours promoting all things manufacturing in their areas. So templates, again, these are the templates we've created. So if a community needed a press release or a PSA or a radio ad or letters for parents, we have some of those template examples to offer and enhance, the classroom tour experience. And then we've incorporated within the statewide tour, obviously we have other resources that are helpful to bring the tour experience, enhance it. So for educators, our teacher guide is a great curriculum to offer surrounding that tour experience. Again, I talked about the digital badge pathway and the Footloose badge. This is a great opportunity to introduce that resource for educators. Career success skill learning modules, learning some of the soft skills that employers are looking for this day and age for educators to roll out to their students, and youth outreach funding. And then some other resources for manufacturers. We have an Adopt a School guide, links to industry news and job searches, career success skill learning modules. And we have also some training, online hands-on e-tech program as well. So we have other resources that could be utilized as part of the tour experience for both of these audiences. So some of our outcomes, here are some survey results from manufacturers that hosted a tour. 90% thought hosting a tour was worthwhile. 90% had success with the tour attendees, and 88% thought there was value in building interest. So again, we have found a research company and have had manufacturers fill out surveys to come to this data. And that's why we continue to host this tour every single year. So a testimonial from manufacturers after they hosted a tour. Manufacturer said, opening our doors for tours has recently shown a return on that time and investment. We just hired a full-time person who participated in a tour a few years back, and he has since graduated from a technical program and will soon be part of our team, all because of his experience touring our facility. Another manufacturer said, partnering with Minnesota manufacturers is just one way to get involved to address the issues facing manufacturing today. We have seen the return on investment as youth that once toured have pursued certifications and are now part of our team. Here is some stats from students in the area of developing interest and awareness of manufacturing careers. 83% were interested in manufacturing careers after they attended a tour. 90% were more aware of manufacturing careers. 80% thought manufacturing careers were good. So there is some of our data. Here's some testimonials from students. As you can see, there was quite a change there with their reactions. One student says, I was so excited about what I saw at Park Industries. I went home and created my own project out of a box. And another student said, I used to think factory jobs were just for people that could not get jobs anywhere else. They had great jobs and made good money. So some of our growth, here's a snapshot of our tour growth. We are far from reaching the 8,000 manufacturers throughout Minnesota, but each year we are reaching more and more students, educators, communities, and manufacturers. So as you can see in 2019, we've gone from, well, the tour started in 2011, and I can tell you not all the numbers are on here, but we started with only 48 manufacturers involved, and now we've grown the manufacturer involvement to 209 manufacturers participating. In fact, now we have 648 manufacturing tours. Now that's manufacturers that have opened their doors to multiple schools. So although it's the same manufacturer, they've had several tours come through, and we've recorded that throughout the state. And obviously we have, increased the number of educators. Our numbers of students has dramatically increased for those that have attended a tour. And we've grown the number of students from 1,500 that we recorded in 2014 to 10,521. We've engaged educators. We started tracking that in 2015 with only 136 educators. We're now up to 495 educators. So schools, that is not right in front of you, but I can tell you that we've gone from, maybe 26 schools to now 50. So really the really big numbers, the total attendance in 2011 started as about 3,000 people. And we have now since reached in 2019, 28,080 people estimated total attendance of our statewide tour. So pretty exciting growth year over year. We do a lot with promotion. So with that, here are some of our visuals as far as that goes. We have done some pretty big campaigns. Actually, the last couple of years, invested in some paid campaigns to reach high school students. We have developed some direct mail brochures, posted videos on social media. We've had direct mail to principals, to manufacturers, past participant manufacturers, educators, teachers, principals, done a lot of work with promoting the tour statewide. Obviously, we work with our partners and associations that also assist with promoting the tour to their audiences. So there's always a large effort there, and we still have a lot more to reach. So the 2020 Statewide Tour of Manufacturing is, the world is different this year, definitely, and so is the tour. It presents definitely a different tour outlook. So not knowing, I have 3 children and they're all on different schedules, and I just found out, I'm finding out every day about things changing. One was supposed to be in person every other day, and now he's distance learning every single day. So busing and transportation and closed spaces makes this the statewide tour and field trips quite challenging. We have decided to continue to promote the statewide tour, however, and bring attention to manufacturing because it is the backbone of our economy. And so there are various regional efforts that are still happening, including continued promotion of the industry. However, there are quite a few public tours after implementing some surveys throughout our association partners. We have learned that the majority of manufacturers are not comfortable opening their doors right now, which is very understandable. We do have funding to support bus funding this year. So if anything changes quickly, we do have some funding to support that. And we have been recently spending our efforts in the area of offering a virtual tour resource. So that is a great opportunity to get quite good at doing things online and still exposing students to manufacturing, but offering resources for educators to offer something to their students. A virtual tour is a great opportunity as well. National Manufacturing Day, following them and the national effort, they're postponing their big, tour throughout the nation. But they are still going to have National Manufacturing Day. So yes, we're living in different times now and hoping to have a lot more virtual tours. So we just completed our draft of our virtual tour resource. So this guide serves as a reference to continue to participate in the tour during this unprecedented time, and likely is a creative way to offer tours moving forward. So this includes a checklist of ideas that a manufacturer can use as an alternative to a public tour. We did a lot of research on, what was maybe the best way to approach this and what other people are doing in the nation. And what manufacturers are doing. So, for example, this resource guide describes options to consider, a checklist that includes a potential live tour, for example, using Zoom, Teams, or Skype technology, and then incorporating that with a combination of live and maybe pre-recorded content. So a combo part live and pre-recorded tour as a virtual tour option, or an appointment only tour, that type of thing. That's typically what we see with the school tours. So we're learning every day about how to change, because life has changed, right? So we've developed another resource. So industry participation in the statewide tour. Obviously, by industry's participation, you have the opportunity to showcase your facility and the exciting career opportunities recruiting your next worker. And you're supporting promotion of the industry, and you're being part of the solution. Supporting organizations, by having a tour, you're supporting the organizations working hard to promote the industry and help you with recruitment. Industry should certainly help to sponsor the statewide tour. There is costs involved. There's, free field trips are not free, as we know. So certainly there's a need to sponsor some of the bus funding and some of the giveaways, and help us promote and distribute our resources statewide. So industry can certainly help support the tour by sponsoring the tour. And then recruiting other manufacturers, get your fellow manufacturers to get on board and help make the statewide tour even stronger and bigger. And then it certainly offers a way to reach out to local school and offer your facility as a field trip option. So educator participation. I would say, the statewide tour offers an exciting and super fun field trip option. There's obviously bus funding support, can be part of an annual schedule. Since it's, happens every October, this can be really part of your curriculum. We offer further resources to engage students about their experience, including learning activities. You can reach the students. We've heard time and again from educators that this is just, it's a way to reach those students that clearly are a fit for this career path. They're not going to be in the 4-year track. And this provides them a visual opportunity for them to see that, hey, I can do something different and still be, I can work here, and I can contribute to society, and I can get a 2-year degree and use my hands, and I have these type of skills, and hey, I can see myself here. That's really what it's all about. So helping to make a difference for students and the industry. Excellent option for STEM educators, robotics coaches, or career counselors. If it's not exactly a fit in October, tours are just a great opportunity for educators that have a focus or, specify in these areas to offer tour experience. And then it's a learning experience for educators too, learning about careers. In fact, every time I go on a tour, I'm like, hey, manufacturing is a great place to work. So I'm always learning too. I think it's really important that educators have the opportunity to learn about industry so that they can support students and, maybe talk to parents. And then obviously it offers ways for students to engage with their local communities, which is really important. So that's a wrap. We're now offering time to welcome questions, comments, and feedback. Again, these presentations are recorded and available on our website. I know that the chat was being used during this presentation, so I'm sure you can find our website and find some of the things that I was discussing in our chat, or if you have questions, there's staff standing by to help you with some of those links. And obviously my contact information is right here, so you can contact me directly if you don't want to chime in right now, but feel free to ask any questions right now. I would just like to also take the opportunity to let you know that we are having over 20 webinars in this series. And so they're monthly. Now we were doing them twice a month, but we're doing them monthly now. So stay tuned for the next webinar.
Jamie, we do have some questions about the virtual tours.
Okay.
So one was, what was the link for the virtual tour? We don't actually have that on our site yet. We'll be posting that probably later today. And you'll be able to find it on our page.
Page. We just finished it, so look for it on our host a tour. We're going to put it there alongside the other resources.
Or the statewide tour page. So either one, you'll be able to find it.
And if you want it right away, you can email me directly and I can send it to you directly too. But
people are also wondering if you could talk more about the virtual tour options or more in depth about them.
Well, let's see. So ideas for a virtual tour. So the first one on here is the live tour option. So you could host a live tour. I did talk about this one, but I'll talk about it again. Host a live tour using a video conference platform such as Microsoft Teams, Skype, or Zoom. Those work great. You could provide an introduction to your company, conduct a tour of your facility using a phone, tablet, or camera that has the capabilities to stream live video to show that your tour participants, you know, what working in your company is like. Another option for a live tour, virtual tour, is to allow students to ask questions about your company. So, you know, you can't see me, but typically Zoom is live. So you could be there live with the students and, you know, do that as a live tour virtual option. Another option is a combination of live and pre-recorded content. So you could register your tour, for example, and, you know, pre-record some different things within your company that you wanted to highlight so that you can edit them or select certain areas or employees that you want to showcase. And then you could, you know, register your tour for, say, October 5th at 2 o'clock, and then host a live tour using a video conference platform such as Zoom, so that you can say, hey, welcome to our company, so-and-so, this is what we do, this is our mission, you know, give some facts about it, introduce yourself, and then play some of that pre-recorded content, you know, such as I just went through a PowerPoint. If you had some pre-recorded content, videos, pictures, slideshow, you know, you could quickly play that. That would be a great option. It will allow students to ask questions about your company too, because it's a combination. And then, you know, a pre-recorded tour would be a great option. You could provide, you know, simply pre-record it, an introduction. You know, you'd have a lot of time to do that. Somebody at your facility probably has a great phone. You know, that's also just an opportunity. Interview some employees who perform various jobs within your company. You know, you can just kind of walk around and as if you were touring yourself and think about, hey, you know, what would a student want to know about working here and meeting these kind of people and seeing what we do, what's exciting. You know, think in terms of the audience, of course. And then obviously an appointment only tour, you know, you can control the number of people attending. So, you know, if you're comfortable having that might be best for your facility. So some other tips are outlined on here. You know, tours are a great way to get people interested in careers in manufacturing and that type of thing. I don't have the back page listed on here. And we're continuing to research other ways that companies are having tours. So we'll put some more information on our website when we post this, you know, manufacturer checklist. But we heard from manufacturers that you needed a really simple, easy way to offer a virtual tour. So you can still participate and register, but these are the ways that we've learned about and then that we can think of that would be an alternative option rather than having an open house. So the tips outline, register your tours on our site. Tour guests will likely have questions, so be prepared to answer those questions. Obviously, another tip is, again, provide an introduction to your company and talk about what your company produces, how it got started. Another, recommendation is to not have it be very long. About 30 minutes would probably be a great amount of time for, an educator or a student to have to engage in a classroom and learn enough about your company. So I hope that answers some of your questions, because we'd love to have tours participate. I can't see the chat questions on my screen unless I really mess up my presentation view, unfortunately. So please ask me what they are, Chris.
So for those that were asking, I did just post the virtual tour document she is referencing on the chat, and I did also put it on the website. So for those that can see the chat, and you should be able to get to that document now. And the website page would be on the Statewide Tour host a tour page. And that's where most of the resources we have listed.
Thank you, Chris.
We do have one comment in chat that says some pre-recorded things from around the state would be a nice resource for teachers, especially if we are in a remote corner. So yes, that would be part of the idea behind the virtual tour, is to get companies to offer up these resources for students to be able to view.
And we will make sure that we relay that message to manufacturers in our promotion. So we're hoping that, we'll have options for you. And I think that would be a great opportunity for students. Fun alternative to a live field trip anyway.
And I scrolled off on me here. So we just had a question about where to find where tours will be happening. And those are listed on our Statewide Tour page under Attend a Tour. And
I posted the link, Chris.
Okay. And as tours get registered, it will populate the map and you'll be able to see them. At this time, we only have one tour registered, so we're still pushing to get more tours.
Yeah, so once they complete this, you'll be able to see where the tours are happening. So if you're going to attend a tour, they'll be shown here. So we've got a lot of work to do to get them listed here.
Robert Bonham has a question, and I'm wondering if he can unmute himself to ask this. I don't know if he can.
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can hear you.
So just kind of curious, in the past, we've got funding for buses and we've taken students out to these tours. As you're showing, there's only one person or one company that's right now willing to do that. What's the lead time that we would have, as we start to think about planning? If it's going to be a virtual tour, we're still going to need to take, get planning ahead of time. So I'm just kind of curious what the timelines are.
Well, you can certainly reach out to the manufacturers. Typically it works that there is somebody that's coordinating these tours throughout the state, and then they apply for funding or they register the tours at the time that they're coordinating them. So we don't operate in the platform of coordinating tours all over the state. We're the platform that they register and receive funding. So I would look to educators or to those champions and communities that actually reach out to the manufacturers, or the manufacturers saying, hey, I'm hosting a virtual tour, and reaching out to the schools. That's how the tour happens. So this year, we plan to reach out to to the manufacturers that have opened their doors in the past, but they've typically had somebody that said, hey, XYZ school wants to come October 7th and 8th, and we're going to bring all these classrooms there. And somebody does that, and then we're the platform that they seek out to receive funding, and then the tours are registered on the site. So that's how the 209 get registered. This year, we're going to have to promote the tour differently and encourage manufacturers to either reach out to the schools and say, hey, I've put together a virtual tour, you know, as a option for educators. And so it's just going to be moving and different this year. So I would probably check back at this site mid-October. So planning ahead, I mean, if there's manufacturers in your community, you can provide them with this virtual tour checklist, and they can say, hey, we would love for, you know, our students to learn more about this. Do you think you can do a virtual tour? And then, you know, if we can support you in any way, obviously there's a lot of other resources for educators that we offer to bring your tour experience, you know, in full circle with curriculum and other things. So it's just all moving. I don't know if I fully answered your question, but.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Okay.
So the thing of it is I think there was probably an outfit out of the Mankato area last year that organized. And so maybe just finding out from them if they're going to go ahead with it or if we should move on our own.
Yes, they're part of our planning committee, and there's going to be a combination. The contacts are like Heather Gleason. If you emailed me directly, I can connect to them. They're
Yeah,
still.
I think it was Heather last year that I did work with, so I'll just send an email to her.
Yep. They're trying to do something. And they do have all their manufacturers that participate every year are still planning on doing something virtually. So we just don't have them registered yet on this site. But you should be able to reference that back because we work closely with Heather, and they will be registered on this site after she gets all organized and gets it all together.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There's also a question by Sandy Johnson. Would you like to unmute yourself and ask that? Okay, so Sandy is asking if doing a virtual tour, can funding for busing be used towards something else, like providing some kind of hands-on manufacturing project to the class?
Say that one more time.
She says, if doing a virtual tour, can funding for busing be used towards something else, like providing some kind of hands-on manufacturing project to the classes?
Probably not. I say that because we've developed all the resources necessary that would fulfill that for you. So the teacher guide curriculum, all the resources that you can download through our website would be the answer to your question. So you wouldn't need to develop them. You wouldn't need to do anything further or have funding for. Our funding is reserved as like a we'll pay you back type of thing. It isn't funding to support other things. But how I'm understanding your question, we within our website have a ton of resources for educators. In fact, we just put together an educator toolkit that goes through that. We have a multi-layered manufacturing career tool. Students can go on there, take an interactive quiz, play a video, learn, that can be an activity. Our teacher guide curriculum is, a 72-page guide, and there's activities, hands-on, a full curriculum that you can utilize as another option. We have career videos on our YouTube page, so many. They can learn about, that's incorporated within the teacher guide. They can learn about Minnesota manufacturers, and there's just a ton of wonderful videos. We have, just a lot of different resources available. So I think we sort of have everything that you would need. But, it doesn't hurt to ask. So thank you for asking. And, if there is some funding that's different, feel free to email me directly and say, hey, it's going to cost this much money. The funding for the statewide tour is all about getting tours to register and to engage. So it's really strictly reserved for tours of manufacturing. The virtual option is essentially free. So that's a wonderful benefit to that. So that when we do open and when things get back to normal, that we will have even more funding for those field trips to the manufacturer. But in the meantime, I think that we are pretty equipped with the resources to provide a manufacturing career exploration experience within your classroom. Another that I didn't mention is our digital badge pathway as well, that students can earn badges as they continue to explore and engage more with some of our resources.
We have another question. Kay asks, I am trying to line up virtual tours. What other selling points should I offer?
Well, I would say that I cover that in my last slide. I'm just going to bring this back up. And these are some of the points that I would bring out. Manufacturers, they need to be part of the solution, and that's what this is all about. We're an organization that's working really hard to help manufacturing with recruiting their next generation. So having a virtual tour is a solution for industry to accomplish recruitment, but also for educators to engage with industry and show students career opportunities. So, I would really just stress the fact that, we really want to promote manufacturing careers to our students. Our students are your next worker. We are looking for online opportunities. And if you had a virtual tour, that would just be a great opportunity for students to see firsthand that there are careers that are hands-on, that are great paying, that are modern and high tech. And if you can get their attention, you're more likely to, recruit one of these 30 students, 10 of these 30 students, 15 of these 30 students to pursue a career. If you host a tour and we can see what's going on in your facility, and you're promoting not only manufacturing, you're promoting your company, you're promoting the community. It's really, manufacturers need to participate. They got to get involved. They have to show what they're doing. They have to, recruit their next worker, engage with the community, and they want to do that. So the selling points would really be, I think, quite easy. Like, hey, we've got eager students. This is a cool thing for you to do if you would. And we really want to help you and learn about what you're doing. And so here's a resource, here's a website. Let's figure out how to partner. And it's free. You find somebody at the company, somebody can raise their hand, I'm sure, that has a lot of experience with technology, with Zoom, with Microsoft Teams, with Skype. And you can kind of use that checklist to brainstorm, hey, how can we do this? Obviously, you'd have to schedule a time with the school and get some classrooms ready if you wanted to do a live version, or pre-recorded is great too. But I would say that I would start with some of those selling points. And, for educators, here's some of the benefits of the statewide tour. It really does make a difference for those students that aren't going to be on that 4-year track. So, and manufacturers can't find skilled workers. So it is an opportunity for them to get, involved with recruitment firsthand.
Amy asks, what is the incentive for schools or employers to register their virtual tour this year?
What is the incentive for schools?
Yes.
To register their virtual tour? Well, the incentive is that you would have additional resources to enhance your virtual tour experience available. You know, it certainly helps us as you're helping yourself to our resources that are developed. We're a program that is all about tracking and measuring everything we do. So every registration, it only helps us become stronger and offer you more resources. So it really is a partnership effort. You know, we can offer some other things like, you know, if we have some safety glass giveaways or some other things that would be an incentive if you're having a tour. But, you know, yeah, it would be helpful to us if you would still register those tours. Those tours would gain future visibility because that tour, for example, could be used to reach more students after that happened. And we would continue to promote that virtual tour as well, so that more students beyond your own classroom could experience and, you know, be exposed to careers in manufacturing. So it kind of goes back to the making the difference for students, for educators, and for manufacturers.
Yeah, and going off from what Jamie said, you know, really offering or registering a virtual tour, it's just exposing students to what advanced manufacturing is like in manufacturing in Minnesota in general. We don't benefit financially directly from anybody registering a tour, so there's nothing that way, but it helps us build those numbers we saw earlier and showing the impact we're having by educating youth on careers in manufacturing and different options that are available.
Yeah, we pursue National Science Foundation grants, some national grants to support our development of resources for educators and to serve manufacturers. And that's really our mission. So when we grow, then we have the funding to listen and to create more and more resources that would be helpful to, you know, promote careers in manufacturing and to assist educators with resources. So I hope that answers your question.
And I think that's the last question we had.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for your time. And I wish everybody, well, stay healthy and stay tuned. We'll have more webinars and hopefully a lot more virtual tours as we are trying to react every day to changing needs and times.
We may have one more question by Sandy.
Okay.
Oh, I see. She has listed, would there still be giveaways provided to students participating in virtual tours?
Possibly we have a stockpile, so we just need the information. So we have some. And if we find out that, you know, there's a lot and that's really neat that they're all putting on safety glasses while they're watching a video, then we can respond. We do have some funding for this tour. So for the tour to grow, we just have to take a look at that as that comes. But yes, we have safety glasses and we could look into some other things so we can talk. And I'm assuming it's the Sandy that I know well. Maybe not. Maybe so.
And she asks, she says, you had mentioned giveaways other than safety glasses.
Yes, we've had some other things that we have given out in the past. We've given out pens, we've given out bags, we've given out brochures. We've just rebranded and we're looking at different things. So it has to be consistent with promoting the industry and representing our center. So trust me, if you've got some brilliant ideas there, we're happy to listen. Safety glasses has historically been something that has worked, but you know, if things stay virtual, we might have to come up with some way to make that make sense too. So open to ideas. We don't have any brilliant anything in our back pocket that we've already purchased. We do have safety glasses. Those are still available, and we will certainly welcome communication on, on that.
All right, I think that's it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your time. Have a great night.